might be quite challenging if you never worked with faux fur fabrics before, especially really long pile fur, but even medium pile takes some I would say two special steps to avoid any sort of problems. So you see, there is a seam in between these two parts which I'm showing, and you can't really see the seam, and you see the places where fabric attached to the faux fur are accurate as well. But here I have created for you a thing to demonstrate when it was cut and sewn wrongly. So you see, first of all, you see seam, and you see the cut pile, you see the cut hair, and you can see the hair sewn into the seam. So that is the most common problem probably with sewing faux fur. So you will have cut hairs and you will have hairs sewn into seam. We definitely want to avoid this. We want to avoid these patches with destroyed fur, with destroyed pile. So how we are going to do this? There are two main steps. There are two main steps to reach that effect, which I'm showing now. No seam visible when two faux fur pieces are attached, and when it's attached to fabric, you can see the beautiful hair, like the hair growing out of seam, basically. Yeah? So there are two steps, two right steps you need to do: to cut correctly and to sew correctly. So to cut, you need to basically know that this pile, the hairs, they grow on sort of the base, on sort of the fabric base. And when cutting, we need to cut only this base. We can't cut hairs, we can't cut pile. We just cut the base, the fabric base on which the whole this hairs, all these hairs grow, basically. So just have your pattern, any pattern you work with, trace this normally, and now we start to cut. So have your sharp, best sharp fabric scissors with you. So, and when you cut, you need to cut just base. Basically, you pull the scissors in between hairs, you don't cut pile, you just cut the base itself. So you just, I will show now on this piece of so I'll do this closer so you can see this closer, and I am pulling the scissors just above, sorry, just under the base. Maybe it will be more visible now. I turn this. Just you see, this goes right under the base and not under the pile. So you cut the base only, the foundation. So look at these pieces. Look at this piece here. So you see, you don't cut like this. You don't cut pile and base together. You cut just this. Hopefully it's possible to see this base. So your scissors go through the hairs, through pile, but not cutting it. So it will take some time. It is a slow process, and you need to be very accurate. But so the best thing to see it, you won't have any pieces of cut fur on your table when you did it. So basically nothing will just, fall down. No pieces of hairs, no pieces of piles. So it just clean table after, because you don't cut pile. See? This stays as it is. So you continue slowly cutting this, your pattern, any pieces of your pattern through. And this is for all sorts of faux fur fabrics, for medium pile, for long pile, faux fur fabrics, to make toys, to make garments. You see, I've just shown this, the base cut. You just cut this base, but not that like this, not the whole thing, just the base. So, and then you cut accurately the whole thing. So I continue cutting around. It's the same. My scissors move the same way, just cutting the fabric base on which those hairs grow, yeah, on which they are based. So I continue to cut accurately, very slow, just cutting the knitted, usually it's knitted base, although you can find probably faux fur fabrics based on cotton fabrics, but I usually met always knitted base. So you cut this knitted base and you continue. So once it's cut, you have your normal details, and now we need to put them together. Now it's the second secret, how to put them together. So we will attach fabric and faux fur fabric together, and then I'll show you how we do this. So this is right side and this is right side, facing each other, facing right side, and you never leave it like this. You never put like this and so with the pile all over around. So make sure the seam allowance is clear of hairs. There are no hair around like this. So the seam allowance is clear. So, and when it's like this, you can put two details together facing right sides, and make sure there are no hair in your seam. There are no hair. So when you put this together, you always put hair inside, always. So no hair. So always put this. You see, I'm pulling them inside. So no hair visible. They don't, pulling all over around. They just all inside between two details, all for all sorts of your projects. So, and when it's like this, you just sew it a normal way, like any standard fabric. And you will not have these hairs sewing into a seam, and you will have them sort of growing out of it. So stitch this now, and let's see what we have. I stitched this, you see, and all accurately, and yeah, I have this beautiful stitching now. So all is good and all is accurate. Nothing is cut, no bolt patches, no hair sewing into a seam. So all is nice and perfect. So, and now absolutely the same rule when you put two fur parts together. So to avoid this, first of all, you see that was cut wrongly. That short hair are cut, and seam basically is visible. We don't want this. So when you we want this. There is a seam, but you can't see this. So when you put two fur parts together, it's absolutely the same rule. You make sure there are no hair in your seam allowance. So seam allowance is clear of hair. So you always put them inside, in between two details when putting them together, like this. And then you sew your two pieces of faux fur, absolutely the same as you would sew any cotton or linen or any other fabrics. So You won't have any fur visible. You won't have any fur going into your sewing machine and everywhere around, because it's everything is inside. And when you stitch it, when you stitch the line, you basically will have absolutely perfect, nice detail with invisible seam, because basically nice long pile will cover it, so you will have this beautifully made piece of faux fur. So I hope that was useful for you. If you have any questions, please do ask. And if you want to make these lines, the pattern and tutorial are available in my Etsy shop. Thank you.